does it look like the Hausas now are regaining consciousness? Because they have just rejected the Hausa Fulani tag, that has been there over the years. What's their reaction to that? Thank you for having me. That is why I will allow our viewers to actually listen to this man, an Hausa man, an enlightened Hausa man, who have come out clearly to tell the world that there is nothing like Hausa Fulani, that Hausa are different people. Though I know that they are not the same people, but unfortunately this Fulani has totally subjugated the Hausa people over the years, to the extent that Hausa is almost losing their identity. That's good thing. We are not seeing Hausa leaders who are not coming out to speak up, just like this man has told that we will listen to shortly. Because whether I like it or not, the Fulani are minority in number, and they are the last that came into this part of the world, talking about Nigeria. But before we go further, let us listen to him to have a sense of what we're discussing. We'll come back to further this conversation.
What a lot of Nigerians don't know is Hausa and Fulani are two completely different people. We have different we're not the same. Even genetically, Hausas are more closer related to Igbos than they are to Fulani. Fulani is literally like Hausa and Fulani. We need to have a public divorce, because you see the shit that's going on. Fulani is every problem that everyone has in northern Nigeria with the north. It's with Fulani. But they're a small group who infiltrated the Hausas. I am Hausa, he's Fulani. We are we don't speak the same language. The only thing we have in common is Islam. These people originally, Nigerian Fulanis originally, you look at them, they're not even from Nigeria, right? Okay, let's give it, they've come to Nigeria, they're now Nigerian, fuck it. They live in the north, fuck it. We're not the same people. Hausa Fulani is the same thing as saying Igbo Ibibio or Yoruba Irobo. We are literally not the same. And Hausas, unless we come out and start disowning these people, everyone in Nigeria is going to hate us. Because anyone that's watching, do you know what's going on? So Fulani herdsmen, they're a group of people in Nigeria. His people, Fulanis, they're herdsmen. They're lawless in Nigeria. They have guns. They're the only people in Nigeria who are allowed to carry guns. They have guns. They walk around all of Nigeria. They'll go to anywhere. They'll go into anyone's farm and they'll let loose their sheep on their cows on the farms, right? If the owners of the farm try to fight back, and the government does nothing, because the Fulanis are a very powerful, tiny minority in Nigeria. But they hide under now I'm Hausa, we're a majority in Nigeria. The Fulanis now see themselves as, they hide as a subgroup under Hausas. So they now use they fooled Hausas into thinking that we are not one. This dude, you need to stop this fucking shit you're doing. This is bullshit. We are collateral damage. Hausas are just there needs to be publicly, Hausas need to start coming out publicly and disowning Fulanis. We have nothing to do with these people. This is outrageous. We have lived in peace with every tribe in Nigeria for as long as that land has existed. The moment the Fulanis came in, every issue everyone has in Nigeria is with Fulani. But Hausas, for some reason, we keep going down as collateral damage just because we are attached to these people. This is outrageous, man. This is fucking insane. Like, his argument now is saying that, like, the Fulanis, right? Right now in Nigeria, they went to a state, a group of them, and they've killed almost 20 people on a farm because the people fought back. They did not want their crops eaten. That's a problem in Nigeria right now. This man's argument is, okay, so my people came into your town and killed your people, but what reputation do your people have globally? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? What the fuck does that have to do with anyone knows this? Yeah, these are the type of people we need to be beaten in. You know, I take that back. I take that back. We don't need to be beating people like this, but the idea has been planted.
So you are welcome back. For me, looking at what is coming from the man, I think it's a local development that we are now realizing. The Hausas are now realizing that enough is enough. Enough is enough because before now, if you see almost all the available stews in the north, talking of the energy position, is the Fulanis. The political class have been taken over by the Fulanis. It's even of late, I realize that even the Kano said I have for the local government that 30-something local government chairmen are Fulanis. So these are issues of segregation. They are conscious of it. They are very serious. They do it to every level. Come to think of it, there are just about 15 million people. The outside people are about 60 million people. These are according to Wikipedia. So how come they are the one wreaking havoc everywhere? And if when they are here, they are not causing problem, I don't think anybody will be talking about whether Hausa or Fulani. I think there wouldn't have been any issue. The good thing is that coming from the indigenous Hausa people. I will tell you that there's even a video where an Hausa man was lamenting that this insecurity is being caused by the Fulani, though I know anyway, that if they need to see Mr. President talking about the Bola Tinubu concerning the issue of insecurity, that Sultan of Sokoto should not be seeing the president on behalf of the Hausas. You can imagine the level of nothing to. That they need an Hausa man, an Hausa leader who can walk up to the president to present the position of the Hausas, because according to him, that this agreement that is ravaging the north is ravaging Hausa communities, not Fulani communities, and as well that the Fulanis are the one perpetrating the crime, the mayhem, the wanton destruction of lives and properties of Nigerians. So I think they are now waking up, and it's a good thing, because if you look at what currently this security we hitherto see happening in Zamfara, Katsina, Benue is already coming to the southern part of the country. Look at what is happening in Kwara State, and even in Southwest we have seen the burning down of a police station in our local government area of that state. Even a mother that recently resisted being kidnapped was disallowed in his palace at in Ondo State recently. So for me, it's good that the Hausas are currently waking up, because the level of subjugation is unimaginable. If you even look at what is happening, how can you tell me that 15 million people is running over a 60 million people talking about the outside people? They are now already creeping into the southwestern part of the country. Do not forget that even Sheikh Makinde raised alarm recently, where he said the Fulani militias, the bandits who are being destroyed from the north, were already hibernating in the southwestern forest. These people who are talking, they are the ones that even approached the Southeast governors in 2024 with a proposal to establish, of course, to establish Fulani Vigilante Group. Though the governors of Southeast rejected it, but you really look at the impunity with which they came up with such proposal. And what often baffles me is, each time the government say, let's all look for a solution to this insecurity, comes up with state police as a strategy to address it. The same Fulani people will tell you, we don't want state police. A case they had is one that happened in Plateau State, when the Senate Committee on Constitutional Review visited Plateau State. The governor moved and made a proposal for state police. The Mietala in that state rose up quickly to say, no, we don't want state police. Yet their leader, Bodejo, had been arrested twice under this administration. At the first instance, he was accused of forming vigilante group arming them without the consent of federal government. He was charged to court. At some point, the government, through the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation, dropped the charges against him. At the second instance, he was equally arrested. He was accused of banditry. I could vividly remember that the government then was able to secure court order to keep him for 2 months to enable the complete investigation. Here we are seeing their leader talking about Sultan of Sokoto, lamenting that if Nigeria break, how will they survive? How will you be asking anybody how you will survive in the face of what your subjects are doing? If the government has spent 10 billion on insecurity, is the Fulani that is causing it. Because when it comes to insecurity occasioned by Fulani militias, occasioned by terrorism, the Fulanis are the center of it. These people are so formidable that even before now, the global terrorism already know them as the 4th most deadliest terrorist group in the world. They are the one that drew the attention of over office to Nigeria. As we are talking, as we discuss now, we understand that there is a bill before U.S. Congress, co-sponsored by Congressmen Ralimo and Chris Smith, talking about Nigeria Freedom and Accountability Act of 2026 that seeks to designate Fulani militias as a terrorist. Of course, this is not blowing, but definitely from the global angle, they will not be seen and recognized as such.
Now, seeing this very clearly as it stands now, do you think that the possibility of dismantling Fulani in the northern part of the country politically by empowering northern youths into governorship, legislatures, senators, and of course to an extent, presidency. Do you foresee that actually coming or happen, given the dominance of the northern political elite class, majorly Fulani for years now? I think it's possible. It's possible because the dominance they, of course, parade currently is as a result of it's a result of the normal outside people who are the population, giving them the opportunity to represent them. Because if you are talking about a 50 million people as against a 60 million people, if it is to go by tribe, as we are seeing it currently, it means the Fulanis will find it extremely difficult to represent in that constituency, whether at the level of senatorial district, at the level of federal house of constituency, at the level of even governors. And they are not coming from that realization. That's why we are not seeing leaders of advocacy rising from the outside angle, because it started before now, there was nothing like an outside man speaking up. I told you that we saw an outside man who came up boldly to tell the world that the Sultan of Sokoto should not be the one representing the Hausas before the Mr. President. That they need to have an outside man who will go and meet with Mr. President to table the problem of the Hausas. And I think that is mind blowing, because before now, nobody could believe that Hausa people will rise to this occasion. What is the fear of? If they could rise in the face of this religion, because I can understand that those who are currently forming advocacy, who are speaking up, are still in the same religion with the Fulanis. So it means they cannot differentiate between the Fulani, between religion and their people. Because I think what these Fulani did from the beginning was that they were able to mingle the religion with the culture of the people, so that it becomes difficult to separate. So that once you see a sheikh rising to say something, whether rightly or wrongly, you see everybody following. So they were docile. That docility is one level to where they are. So you look as if they are now realizing that they need to separate themselves from the Fulanis, that at the issue they are Hausa people, they have their language, and funny enough, Hausa now learn their language. Having learned their language, there is their language to rule over them. So now that they are realizing and they have the population, I must say that they can salvage the situation if they are willing. Well, how can you tell me that a place like Kano, where you have for the four local governments, 30-something local government chairmen are Fulanis? For me, they are conscious of what they are doing. That is why I often say that you cannot call the Fulani man a fool. They know their honor, they know what they want, they know their target, and they are going for it. But unfortunately for them, the outside people that have been subjugated over the years are now rising up to realize that enough is enough. We must retrieve our identity, separate our identity from the Fulani. Nobody said the Fulani cannot maintain their own identity, but the outside people are saying no. Going forward, we are Hausa, we are not Fulani, and there's not like Hausa Fulani. I think that is very clear. I think a lot of people are saying it will be very difficult. They control the military, they control the presidency, they are the federal level everywhere. They are the police, and everywhere the Fulanis are there. How do you think? Do you think that it's an opportunity to call for the government of Nigeria to look into it, maybe empowering the Hausas politically? I totally agree with you. It may be difficult, but a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step, and I think that step I've just started. That the people identifying what is wrong and deciding what they need to do. Because if you look at all the comments coming from those agitation, those voices, those advocacy, people are already telling them, stop voting the Fulani into power. Vote outside people into power as a way of reclaiming your territory, as a way of reclaiming your communities. And if that continues to happen, I will tell you that in the next round of election, if they wake up to this realization and vote their own people who have the interests of the Hausas in mind, and yes, to represent the interests of the Hausas, if they do that, I will tell you that the Fulanis we know that they have a big battle in hand. But unfortunately, I don't think there's much they can do, because politics is a game of number, and the Hausas has the number. Though before now, the Fulani had always used the Hausa Fulani as a misidentity to treat of course, the Hausas. Thank you.